It's time for Maths with Mr. Thomas.
Yo ho ho! Let's move on to exponential and logarithmic functions, lesson number 6 in this functions chapter. So, to begin with, we want to think, what are exponentials? Well, if you have some number to the power of x, it is known as an exponential function. So we've got f of x equals a to the power of x. A can just be any number we like, apart from 1, and it's got to be bigger than 0. You could have something like f of x equals 4 to the power of x. That would be an exponential. You could then work out 4 to the power of any number you like. You've got 4 to the power of 3, so you've got 4 to the power of 3, which is 64. You've got another exponential, f of x equals 6 times 5 to the power of x. You could work out f of 2, so 6 times 5 squared, be 6 times 25, 150. So these would be examples of exponentials. Let's look at the graphs though. Let's draw the graph of f of x equals, say, 2 to the power of x. So x can be a real number. Let's pick some values of x then. I'm going to go between -3 and 4, and I'm going to then work out what f of x will be. So let's do this. F of x equals 2 to the power of x. Let's go with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 first of all. So let's say you are working out f of 0. What is 2 to the power of 0? Sandy, the non-calculator god, 2 to the power of 0 is 1. Yes, perfectly right. Well done, Sandy, because anything to the power of 0 is 1. If you've got 2 to the power of 1, that's just 2. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. 2 to the power of 4 is 16. Working out 2 to the power of -1, how do you do that? Well, if your index is a negative, you can always move the base in the index from the top of a fraction to the bottom, or vice versa, and that would change it from a negative to a positive, or vice versa. So, if you have 2 to the power of -1, you could change that to 1 over 2 to the power of +1, which is just 1/2. Do the same with -2. 2 to the power of -2 would be 1 over 2 to the power of +2, which is a quarter. -3 would be 2 to the power of -3, which is 1 over 2 to the power of +3, which is 1/8. So we can get the values for f of x. If we graph that then, so we're wanting to graph f of x, which is 2 to the power of x, you end up getting something that looks like this. You can see that the line is barely going up at all to start with. Then suddenly it starts to go up a wee bit more, a wee bit more, a wee bit more, and then suddenly it's getting steeper, steeper, and then it's very, very steep. Something like that is known as an exponential, and you've probably heard of people talking about something increasing exponentially. It means it barely increases at all, and then suddenly it starts to get a bit steeper, and then there's a massive growth. Something like this coronavirus is a perfect example of that. It starts off where there's maybe just 1 or 2 people that have it, and then a few weeks later a whole city has it, and a few weeks down the line the whole world is in lockdown. It's increased exponentially. So an exponential, it looks like that, and it always passes through a couple of points. One of the points it always passes through is 0, 1, and it's because anything to the power of 0 is always 1. So no matter what number you pick, if you do it to the power of 0, you'll always get 1. So your exponential will always go through that. The other it always goes through is 1a. A is, remember, your base. So it's a to the power of x, whatever value you chose for a. And it's because a to the power of 1 is always a. So 2 to the power of 1 will just be 2. And you can see that there. If I had something like 7 to the power of 1, well, 7 to the power of 1 is just 7, so that would pass through 1, 7. If that was the case, then this would be a lot steeper. So the bigger the value of a, the steeper it is going to be. Let's think then for a minute about how the value of a is going to change the shape of the graph. So on the next page, let's look at the graph right away, 2 to the power of x. So if a is bigger than 1, we're always going to get it looking something like that. It'll always pass through 0, 1, and then 1a. If, though, a was between 0 and 1, what that would mean is you would have, say, a half. Okay, let's go with a half. So if you've got half to the power of x, well then you're wanting to work out something like a half squared. But a half squared is not going to end up bigger. It's going to end up as a quarter. It's going to end up smaller. So instead of the graph looking like this, it'll end up coming down the way instead. So these are the two things that you need to know. If the graph has a value of a bigger than 1, it's going to look something like that. And if your exponential is between 0 and 1, it's going to come down like that. Let's move on then. Let's think about the inverse of that. So to go from a to b, we've got y equals 2 to the power of x. Let's think about our functions. Let's just think about our arrow diagram. We've got set a and set b. We've got different values in set a. We've got 0, 1, 2, 3. So 2 to the power of 0 is 1. 2 to the power of 1 is 2. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. Okay, so we can easily get these values here by doing 2 to the power of whatever number we've got. But let's say we want to go back the way. Let's say we want to go from set B to set A. How would you do that? Well, what you've got to think is 2 to the power of what gives us 8. In this case, it would be 3. Or 2 to the power of what will give us 2. Whereas the opposite of add would be subtract, or the opposite of multiply would be divide, the opposite of an exponential, well, it's difficult to word 2 to the power of what gives us 8. So there's a mathematical term called a log that allows us to write it out quite simply and say it simply. So whereas we're thinking 2 to the power of what gives us 8, the way we can write it mathematically is saying log base 2 of 8. And something like that is known as a logarithmic function. And all you really need to know at this stage is that an inverse of an exponential is a log, a rhythmic function. Let's look at them a tiny little bit more. So a logarithmic function, these are always going to be of the form y equals log base a of x, and that is how you would read them. And since they are the inverse of exponentials, you can easily graph them. Think back to the last lesson when we were graphing inverse functions. What you would end up with is something that looks like this. So our exponential always went like this. If you graph the inverse, it's reflected in this line y equals x. So your logarithmic function would look more like that. It's coming down here. A log graph of the form y equals log base a of x always passes through, again, a couple of points. Because your exponential always passes through 0, 1, well, on the inverse, on the log, it'll always pass through 1, 0. So 1, 0 will be one of the points. And the other point, whereas your exponential passed through the point 1a, your log graph will pass through the point a1. All you need to know just now is what exponential graphs and log graphs look like, and remember the points that they go through. And also, I suppose, the fact that one is the inverse of the other. What we'll do is we'll go back to exponentials and logs in Unit 3, but just now we just need to know what they look like. Have a go at the questions in the textbook on log graphs. Let me know how you get on. Good luck. Enjoy. Bye.